back to the Hiperdist podcast, and I'm here with Cisco present again. He's a head of security. Are you?
Well, I'm a cybersecurity architect, but hopefully head of security
Hopefully.
in the next future.
Yes. So, Mr. Farid and Hajim, would you
Correct.
like to tell something about yourself to my listeners and my partners and my vendors?
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for having me, first of all.
Of course,
Jatin.
yeah, this is my pleasure.
Yeah, and introducing myself, I'm Farid Hajim. I'm a cybersecurity solution architect with Cisco. I've been with Cisco for the last 6 years, and my main focus was cybersecurity. As of now, my role is to work with partners, Cisco partners, that is, and distributors like Hiperdist, and in the region. So France, Monaco, Benelux, as well as North Africa, Levant, and West Central Africa. So my main role basically is to empower, enable, and work and support these partners to empower our customers with our Cisco security solution, basically. So the end goal is the Cisco customers, and I want to make sure that the Cisco customers are happy with our security solutions through our partners and distributors, basically, in a nutshell.
So, what's make you come to the GITEX? What's exciting you most about this GITEX?
Yeah, so actually funny story, because I was not planning to come into GITEX, and I got a message from our partner account manager here in Morocco, Mr.
Okay.
Ahmed, who shout out to Ahmed. So he sent me a message and he told me that our partners in the region, as well as Hiperdist and another set of distributors, were going to be there here in GITEX, and it will be a big plus if I'm here to meet you guys and talk to our partners as well as our customers to talk security as well as AI, basically. Yeah.
He's
And
very
here I
famous
am.
guy.
Yeah.
He just had more than 25 people who were listening to his presentation. And we're really glad, you came and you gave presentation. It was so
Thank you.
nice. I
Thank
have
you.
so many photos. I will share with you.
Thank you very much,
Bye,
Jatin. He's a good photographer, by the way.
So what do you think about like security in distribution industry?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, because in general, I will talk about Cisco, but it can be applied to other vendors as well. But I will talk from my perspective from Cisco. So Cisco, through its model, transacts through partners and distributors. So meaning Cisco doesn't sell directly to end customers. It does that through distributors like Hiperdist, for example, and other distributors. So the way we do that is, let's say a customer has a specific issue, a specific use case. Our Cisco teams are in contact with this customer, right? Then our Cisco team engages a partner that will do, for example, the integration part, the pre-sales part, the qualification part, as well as the selling part, basically. And then that order goes through a distributor, which are like you guys, for example, like Hiperdist, to basically do the fulfillment part of that project or of that equipment to be sent to the customer. In a nutshell.
So now I'm going to ask like a bit tricky question, but okay. So how do you see AI going to transform the distribution industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
And like basically, mostly like what about the security of this? Do you think like we have any kind of threat with this AI?
That's a really, really good question. I will tell you one thing. Our CEO, Mr. Chuck Robbins, last year in our sales kickoff, said that the two most important things that Cisco will focus on in the next few years, 2 words: security and AI.
Yeah.
Basically, these are the key words that plus 17,000 salespeople inside of Cisco have heard from our CEO. So Cisco is focusing heads on security and AI. But now back to your question, you said how AI will influence the distribution as well as other sectors. We've seen it, all of us. We've seen ChatGPT. We've seen how big in the last 2-3 years ChatGPT has changed the game, changed the world. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. The LLMs, the large language models like GPT-4, like GPT-4o now, like other language model, for example, like Gemini from Google or any other LLMs. All of these LLMs are just the tip of the iceberg of the AI, I would say, sphere, basically. So we have LLMs basically interfacing with users to do language processing, natural language processing, and answer you based on the data that the LLM has. But the goal, and I've seen that with OpenAI, the goal of all of these companies is basically to arrive to what we call AGI. So AGI is like where we arrive to an autonomous, generalized intelligence, or this is where AI transcends to a level that is similar to human. You cannot even differentiate between if you are talking to a human or an AI. And basically, when we arrive to AGI, it's, I would say, like Elon Musk says, it's game over for us. I mean, not to be gloomy or anything, but a lot of sectors are going to be impacted in the next 5 years. When I say impacted, it can be from a positive standpoint, but also a negative standpoint. So obviously, positively, we will have a large gain in efficiency. Let's talk about distribution, for example. So one of the main things, or one of the main aspects in distribution, is the supply chain. Yeah. And we know, for example, for Cisco has one of the most complex supply chains in the world. You know, funny story. I was in an event just a few days ago, and this event was done by, there was a presentation, a keynote of one of our competitors, a Cisco competitor. And their presentation, they were trying to talk about supply chain threats and stuff like that. And the supply chain they choose to focus on is the most complex one in the world, one of the most complex one with the world, which is Cisco's. So their competitor, and their presented our supply chain. That was a funny side note there that I wanted to mention. But just to go back on topic here is distribution is going to be one of the many fields that will be impacted by AI. Supply chain is going to be impacted. So we will have automated supply chain end to end, like from the fulfillment of the customer all the way to the shipping to the end customer is going to be managed by an AI. And we can see that already. We can see the premises of that already. Add that to blockchain, and you're sure to have like a transformative experience for end customers, but also for distributors like Hiperdist.
But like, as you say, it's going to change so many things, logistic aspect and supply chain. You don't you believe like we're going to lose so many jobs at the same time? So people who are working in the warehouses, although we're going to get new jobs too, but it's going to be more complex job. Like it's going to be more advanced job, I must say, but still we're going to lose like ample amount of job.
You know what? I only talked about the positive aspect here. I didn't want to be gloomy. I didn't want to gloom our viewers and listeners here.
No, but I believe like we should. This is a reality.
Yeah, it is a reality, and I will tell you my 2 cents about it, how I see things, and this is my honest opinion. This is not something that is a study or anything. This is just my honest opinion. So obviously, jobs are already impacted by AI, and they are going to be impacted in the near future. Let's talk about our field, IT in general. So tech. So Cisco is a tech company, right? And inside of Cisco, we started using AI within our solutions, meaning like our main solutions, but also within our environment for our employees. Basically, you as a Cisco employee can use AI tools to help you do your job faster. Now, will that mean that there will be a loss of jobs in the future? Traditional jobs, yes. But at the same time, we will see a rise in new kind of jobs. So these new kind of jobs or these new kind of skill set is how to use these AI tools to do jobs more efficiently. How to create prompts in LLMs, what we call prompt engineering. How you can use efficient prompts to do your job correctly. So these new kind of jobs, we're starting to see that, by the way. For example, if you go to LinkedIn, right? And I'm pretty sure like this podcast is going to be on LinkedIn or something like that.
You won't believe, the script which we are recording, like it's recorded by the AI. So he know like which person is speaking which thing, and you're going to give me transcript as well in the end, and then you're going to give me the references. Like, okay, so this what have been spoken by this person at the back. Like, it's so smart.
It is. And just to give you another example of that, so we have a solution inside of Cisco called WebEx. It's really well known. So Cisco WebEx is used worldwide by our customers, public sector, private sector, and WebEx as a solution. It's a collaboration solution, a video conference solution, and much more than that. But let's focus on the WebEx, for example, collaboration solution for video conference. So now we have added more than 100 features inside of WebEx that have AI enabling it. I'm going to give you two examples, just two funny examples that I can think of. So, for example, imagine that you're talking, right? You're talking to the audience, or you're presenting through WebEx, and then you do something like you wanna, for example, do a gesture, and that gesture be transcribed as an emoji. You can do that live. So, for example, if I do something like this, it's gonna send an emoji to all of the viewers that I did a thumbs up. Or if I do like this, it's gonna be a thumbs down, something like that. That's the first example. Second example is real-time transcription and translation. That's something really, really good.
Yep.
And the last thing is summary of the actual meeting. So imagine
With
how
bullet-
much
with the bullet
time.
points.
Exactly. So imagine how much time you will gain. We know how many meetings we have a day. We want to know how many meetings we have a week. But you cannot be at all meetings everywhere. So sometimes if there's like a 1 hour meeting that you have missed and you need just the bullet points of it, you go to WebEx and then you have a summary of that meeting. So this meeting has been about this and this and that. And this is enhanced day in, day out. As we all know, AI is as good as the data that is being trained on. So if you have more data to train your AI on, you have a better outcome, basically. So that's why, for example, GPT-4o is mind-boggling. It's because it has been trained on trillions data entry points data entry points to give us these amazing outcomes, basically.
That's really game changing.
Yeah,
You can be a tech talk. You can go at the tech talk.
you know what now, and
I
that's
love you.
one of the things I was thinking about, and these are just use cases that will be in the future. Imagine that you have to give a talk or a podcast about a specific topic, and you have never heard anything about that topic. You can go to an AI and you can tell them, give me a quick summary of this. What are the bullet points I need to talk about, or the things I need to know about? And just like that, in an hour, you're seen as an expert in that field. AI is going to be game changing for everyone.
It's going to be. It's going to be game changing.
Yeah.
So the next question which I'm going to ask is like future trade and prediction. I believe you have given the answer
Yeah.
in so many ways, but still, Okay, so what do you think, what's the impact of AI will have on the employment and the job roles within
Yeah.
the distributor sector?
That's actually a really good question. So I discussed earlier, or I gave the example of the supply chain, the SCM side of things. So the supply chain management side of things.
You won't believe, you have covered most of the questions.
Yeah. So that's good to hear. I talk a lot sometimes. So
But sure, it's so learning for me, Like, whenever you meet a new person, that person have a different point of view, different story, different knowledge, different kind of education, and different. So,
viewpoint of the topic. Absolutely.
And then it's like a full of knowledge, and you gain the knowledge, and because I'm gonna write this down, I'm gonna show it with my friends as well.
Yeah, and I can see the questions here. Like they're many questions, and you did a great job, by the way, on preparing this. But just to answer your question, I'll give maybe a more detailed answer of what I've given earlier. If we go back to the SCM, the supply chain management side of things in the distribution sector, I give the example of imagine an AI system. I'm pretty sure someone is already working on this. I'm pretty sure. Imagine an AI system that takes, as soon as one of the customers or the partners clicks and orders something from Cisco or any other vendor, it goes through the system.
Yeah.
The journey from ordering all the way to shipment to the actual customer is taken care of by an AI.
Yeah.
So all of the systems are integrated together. So from the vendor side of things, so from Cisco, from Hiperdist, from the partner, the deal IDs, everything is correlated together. And from an end customer's perspective, from a partner's perspective, it's seamless. They can see when that will be shipped. They can see where it will be shipped, and it's the AI that's going to take care of all of these processes for you.
I think it's already been implemented by Amazon warehousing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just make an order, the machine is just going to
Exactly.
slap, and the next thing you can get the order at your home.
And
no human touch.
And that's to your point. You said that a lot of jobs are going to be impacted by this, and the answer is yes, absolutely. Because imagine maybe the person who was either scanning, the
Yeah.
barcode for that shipment to be sent to another distribution center or to another place to be shipped. The person who is entering the data to from the partner side or the deal ID. Oh, the customer ordered this. I need to add this to my system or my Salesforce and stuff like that. So there are many people involved at every single stage of the supply chain, from ordering all the way to shipping, that can be taken care of the AI, and so all these people will be impacted, obviously. But at the same time, that AI will not work on itself. It needs people. So AI will always need people to work with.
Yeah,
So you
human
cannot.
touch.
ChatGPT always needs someone to talk to, obviously, to ask questions, basically. Yeah.
Like, so I think I should ask you a question about Africa.
Yep.
So we go with ethical and the practical consideration.
Yep.
I'm not gonna like the question. I'm gonna start like,
Yeah.
but what? Okay. One second, you only give me my plan. Shall I use AI or security? I believe security and this one or blockchain impacting.
You can use all three of them, and I'll try to.
Okay, general.
Yeah. Journey. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? Like, what is the ethical consideration should companies keep in their mind when they implementing security, AI, blockchains,
Yeah.
threats, so many other things like
Yeah.
which you can know better.
That's actually a really good question. So, and you touch base on the three big fields that touch our lives right now, and will be touching our lives in the next future. And when I say future, is like immediate future. So, security is the top priority for every organization, from banking to supply chain to distribution to manufacturing. Security is now, for the I wouldn't say for the first time, but now is a top priority for these organizations, because it's if you don't have a secure organization, right? Let's say, for example, you're in the banking sector, and threats cost a lot of money, cost billions of dollars, sometimes in money. I heard like a very mind-boggling number recently, just to give you how much important security is for our customers. From one of the CEOs of our partners here in Morocco, the annual budget of cybersecurity for Bank of America is $1 billion, not 1 million, $1 billion.
Like they need it.
Exactly. So security is top of mind for a lot of our customers, because it has to be.
Yeah.
Security is super expensive when it's not implemented right. Threats and attacks are super expensive now. With things like ransomware, your data is encrypted. With things like phishing attacks, and where these attackers get data from from your organization, get, for example, username and passwords, get PCI data, for example, like your card number and codes and stuff like that. Add that to the complexity of dark web, availability of tools to every single person now can go to the dark web and can purchase
Anything.
a hacking tool, literally a hacking tool. Even though you're not a hacker, you can do that. So now more than ever, security has to be top of mind. It is the case for all of our customers worldwide. So that's only for security. You touch on two other topics that are super important: blockchain and AI. We've talked about AI a little bit earlier. So, and your question was more around the ethical part of, or ethical perspective of the whole situation. I would say that question applies more to AI and blockchain, especially to AI. The reason being is, and a lot of big thinkers and CEOs have already shared their thought on this. For example, like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said like one of the biggest threats to human civilization is artificial intelligence.
We're gonna see Terminator soon.
Exactly, and exactly, and now we see that a lot of, for example, the European Union recently ratified like an accord on ethics on AI. So to all of the European countries agreed on how to use AI ethically. I think it was in Rome, if I'm not mistaken. The accord, or like the agreement was done in Rome.
I believe like it's very hard to say, like, if terrorist group got, like, of course they're smart.
Yeah.
If they get the knowledge of AI,
Yeah.
which they can, which they will as well. So which kind of is of course going to be a cold war.
Absolutely. I remember
It's going to be like invasion, totally
exactly.
finish, vanish.
And I remember Putin actually, maybe President Putin, I think a few years back, 5 or 6 years back, says that the nation that will have AI and security, that will lead the world in AI security, will basically lead the world in everything.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. It's all to say that, but I agree with that statement that the nation that will, lead the world in AI and security will have all the power, to
Yeah.
to in the world. But
Well,
yeah,
smarter have power.
yeah,
If you're smart,
absolutely,
you're power.
absolutely.
I believe we have like the biggest podcast.
Really,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
No, but still, I need to close this.
Okay.
Yep. So, like, you work in African market.
Yep.
What do you think? How it's gonna impact? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you see after 5 to 10 years? How's the African market gonna look like?
So, as someone who has been born in Morocco, raised in Morocco, spent my whole life in Morocco, all my career in Morocco, I now live in a European country. But I will tell you from my perspective, and everyone can agree with me on this, even, the West. Africa is the future.
Yeah, is it the future?
Africa is the
believe,
future
like,
in tech,
Uh-huh.
in human resources, and in natural resources. It is already the future in natural resources. It's the land with the most natural resources ever. Now, for example, if you're talking EVs, or electrical vehicles, most of the lithium and other material that is used to produce these batteries, they come from Africa, right? So we have the resources, natural resources, right? We have the people. I'm African, right? We have the people that, or the human resources that can develop this continent. And we have the knowledge now more than ever with AI, with the globalization of the information being available readily at your fingerprint. And with the connectivity, Africa being connected now more than ever, I think it's time now for Africa to take the lead. I'm pretty sure like it's not an immediate thing that we will see in the future, but we already started to see spurts of growth here and there in development, sustainable development as well, in Nigeria, in North Africa, in Morocco, in Tunisia as well as in South Africa and other parts of Africa as well. So we've seen spurting growth. For example, the startup scene in Nigeria is one of the biggest in Africa, if not the biggest, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of startups are, and I had the chance here in GITEX to visit a lot of startup stands, and most of them are in Africa. And one, I know it's GITEX Africa for a reason, but I was happy to see that there is a big presence of African startups. And just one last thing to finish with here, this answer is, being someone who works in security, right? We sell a lot of solutions in Cisco. We have the broadest architecture in security ever in terms of solutions. So from EDR, XDR, firewalls, the whole shebang of security, basically. And I was happy, surprised to see one Moroccan startup created an EDR, and I had the chance to test it. And it's a robust solution that was created in-house here in Morocco. Just to show you that we have the creativity, we have the technology, and we have the knowledge and the know-how to be leaders in the future.
So what do you think? Like, where we are lacking behind?
So I think the thing we're lacking behind, the thing that we lack most in Africa, and this is my honest opinion, is governance. In one word, if I has to summarize this, is governance.
Yeah.
And as soon as we try to get away from the old ways, right? Start, and I'm hopeful of the new generation and the next generations to kind of, and we've started to see that, to change the game when it comes to governance. Have a civil society and a democracies all across Africa where the people choose for themselves their future, instead of a top-down approach. Like, let's go for a down-to-up approach. That's so. In one word, if I have to summarize it, it's governance. But we don't lack anything else outside of governance. I think that's my honest opinion. Yeah.
If you have any kind of question, any kind of security question, you will see his name on that here.
Thank
You're
you.
going to pop up, LinkedIn, call him, message him.
Thank you very much, Jatin, for having me. It's very nice to having you
It's
as well
very
for this
nice.
podcast. Thank you very much.